Yep, your credit score controls your life. Those 3-digit numbers that can decide if you get a house, a car, or even a phone bill in your name. Credit. Today, we're breaking down 3 things that you probably didn't know about your credit score and how to fix it. This is Love and Real Estate. Hey, we're the Doppos. We're married, have a family, and run a company together. We help people every day figure out this really hard and expensive thing called real estate and home ownership. Honestly, it's because buying a home was hard for us, so we became big nerds about it and wanted to explore everything about real estate and finance and how it all works. So let's see what we can learn today.
Hi friends! Today we're going to learn about credit. Do you know what credit is?
We're not doing this today. Come on, baby.
No! They need to know about credit.
In today's topic, we're going to be covering 3 things. So the first is, what is your credit score? The second is things that mess up your credit score. And then the third is how to improve and grow your credit score. All right, let's dive deep.
Alright, so quick history on credit scores. In the 19th century, U.S. local lenders and merchants relied on personal knowledge and judgment to decide who got credit. It was super problematic, it was inconsistent, and often unfair. Fast forward to the 1950s, enters Bill Fair and Earl J. Isaac, an engineer and a mathematician. In 1956, they founded Fair Isaac and Company, now known as FICO. Sounds familiar? They revolutionized the credit world with a statistical method to evaluate creditworthiness. In short, credit scores were developed and made not too long ago.
And just like that, the credit score was born. Literally 3 digits that sum up your entire financial health and reputation. In short, credit scores are broken down from 300 to 850. Higher always equals better.
So, if my scores are low, you telling me that the bank is treating me like somebody who's trying to get into VIP section with no wristband?
Pretty much. Now, let's talk about what actually makes up your credit score.
Okay, so your credit score is made up of 5 key factors. Let's break it down real quick. Insert pie chart. Love a good pie chart. So payment history makes up 35%. Pay on time or your score will drop. It's super simple.
They're gonna get it when they get it. Oh, my score.
Banks don't like that.
And the next is credit utilization, which takes up 30% of your credit. So use too much of your credit limit and your score will tank. I know this makes absolutely no sense. It makes 0 sense because they give you the credit line and you should be able to use the entire thing. I know, they don't even tell you that when you get the card, but it's the truth. 30% or less. Some even say as low as 10%. I'm giving you guys a little bit of room. 30% or less, and that's a good spot as long as you pay it every single month, because the idea is that you're supposed to pay your credit card off every single month for super pristine credit habits. Don't carry a balance. Credit age. The longer you have accounts open, the better. So closing all credit cards is bad. So for instance, that old Victoria's Secret credit card, even though you paid it to 0, don't close it. Just cut the card out, leave the account open. Do not close the card. And the reason being is because it will take your credit score. I know it makes absolutely no sense. I didn't make the rules. I'm just trying to help you. Just trying to help you. And then another thing is credit inquiries. Credit inquiries make up 10%. So every time you apply for credit, your score gets checked. Yes. So I'm going to give you 1 to 3 with a stretch goal, maybe 5 times a year to get your score checked. But to be very honest, don't do that. The only time that you can do multiple runs is when you're applying for like a home loan. Home loan, they give you that 21-day window to run it multiple times to compare rates. And then finally, credit mix, which makes up an additional 10%, having different types of credit lines, loans, and credit cards. So a home equity line of credit, a car note, a credit card, all those different things boost your credit as long as you are paying on time and keeping them within the specific limits. It all factors to having strong credit. Talking about 720 or higher strong credit.
So you're telling me it's like basically three things, right? So we're gonna borrow responsibly, we're gonna keep accounts open, and we're not gonna apply for a new credit like we're speed dating.
Correct.
Wait a minute.
Have you been speed dating before? Anyway, exactly. So now we are going to tell you guys, and you as well, so maybe you're curious, on how you can check your annual credit score, the true score, every year for free. So how do you check your credit score? First thing to understand is not all credit apps are created equal.
Wait. Are you telling me like Credit Karma, that's not real?
Credit Karma is real, but think of it like Credit Karma is a Snapchat filter. It's you, it's just not all the way you.
That's good.
Yeah, so with that being said, there's this thing called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's an act that was enacted by Congress, and in short, what it allows you is to be able to have the right to check your score for free, the true score, what the financial entities see every single year through this website called annualcreditreporting.com. So in short, the FCRA equals one true credit pull every single year.
That's really good. So essentially I can see what the lenders are seeing when they pull my credit?
Correct. No gimmicks, no ads, the real deal.
Okay. So let's talk about credit utilization, which is how much of your credit card are you using?
I just went to the best shopping experience ever.
So where do I start? Is it the bag? Is the grill? Where did you get this grill from?
This is a demonstration of bad and poor credit habits. Put it on credit.
So a good rule of thumb is to keep your utilization at 30% or below. So example, so let's say you have $1,000, you don't want to spend more than $300 on your credit card every month.
Wait. Okay. 30%. I get it. Whatever. Sorry. What about my store cards?
So those store cards are actually a trap. I want you guys to run when we hear store cards.
Why?
Yes, because
run to it, right?
No, run away from it.
Oh.
Whatever discount they're giving you, it's actually not a real discount, right? So if they say they're going to give you 10%, you need to read the fine print and look at the interest rate. That's usually anywhere between 20, 25, 30, just depending on the store card.
Fine.
Yes. So now let's talk about charge-offs versus settlements. So charge-offs versus settlement. What is a charge-off? It means that a creditor has written this debt as uncollectible. That means they were trying to reach out to you. You were evading their calls, you didn't answer their emails, they left you voicemails, and you didn't return them back. A settlement just means that you guys were able to settle less than what the debt actually, than what the debt you actually owe. So now a charge-off still is in your credit report. Let me be clear about that. Even though the creditor can't collect the debt, you can still see it on your history. The settlement is going to reflect positively, right? It means that you made attempts, you were proactive to try to make this debt small.
Now, we make these videos because they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They are. However, they help so many people.
That means if you want to fix your credit to be able to buy a home, we love to help you in the DC, Maryland, or Virginia area.
Wait, Eddie. We're now nationwide. So if you are in Arkansas or North Dakota,
Texas, California,
we want to help you. Now, let's get on back to the show. Let's tell you how you can fix your credit. There's a difference between a credit lock and a credit freeze.
So, a credit lock. Typically, you're paying a subscription and it locks all your credit across all 3 credit bureaus. And a credit freeze, this is actually free, right? So you have to individually go to each credit bureau and then freeze your credit. And what it does, it prevents you from falling into identity theft, right? So you're getting a notification anytime somebody accesses your credit. So anytime your credit score is ran, you get a notification. So you're playing defense, well, maybe offense, right? Because you're on top of it. And that way nobody has access.
Wait, but does your credit, if it's frozen, is it allowed to grow? That's a big misconception.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Amanda. So anytime your credit is frozen, it continues to grow. Right, folks, you gotta imagine, most people are going to work 9 to 5, 9 to 6. People have a business. There are some folks that their full-time job is trying to scam people. And the way you prevent them is by locking or freezing your credit.
Yeah.
There's another hack though.
What?
Being an authorized user.
Ooh, let me talk about that. Get on. Come on. Get up. Okay. Thank you. Oh, my ball. It's bouncing on my ball. So, becoming an authorized user. This is something a hack that I love to do. And a lot of lenders will discuss with you this really cool option on how to get this done. So let's talk about it. Becoming an authorized user means that you are leveraging or inheriting good credit habits of someone else. Building good credit takes time. In short, it takes time. So this person's you need to think about in your world, who has good credit? And then from there, I want you to go over to them and have a conversation around being able to inherit their score. Now, or their good credit habits. Now, how do we go about that? What they're gonna do in short is they're going to allow you to become a authorized user on one of their credit cards that they use all the time. Think of it like the one that is the most frequent, the one that they're paying every single month, has a low balance, the one they're using all the time. They're not gonna give you the card. No. No. What they're gonna do is they're gonna put the card away, but you're gonna be an authorized user, and then what's gonna happen is the cogs and algorithms that impact our credit score, you are going to start inheriting those good payments. That is how becoming an authorized user increases your score. So you have to be very intentional on who you become an authorized user with, and you have to also have a really intentional conversation. Speaking of, let's walk you through how you can get that done.
This is how you ask somebody to be an authorized user on your credit card. Hey Amanda, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm good.
So I have a goal this year. I'm looking to purchase a home. My lender mentioned that I can leverage somebody that has good credit, just like yours, to allow my credit to go up. And what that looks like is that the credit card will come directly to you. I never have to touch it. And as soon as I finish purchasing my home, you can just take me right on off. Okay,
so that means that you'll be able to inherit my good credit habits.
That is correct.
But you won't impact mine.
Not at all.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? AD, you're a stand-up guy. Approved!
This is how you don't ask somebody to be an authorized user on their credit card. So Amanda,
hey.
So I gotta go, I'm trying to buy a house. So my lender, I appreciate it, I'm trying to do my thing, you know what I mean? So the lender mentioned that I could be an authorized user on somebody else's credit card.
Oh,
so I was,
meaning me.
Yeah, I wanted to see if I can get your credit to be able to buy my house.
This person is untrustworthy. Denied. Now let's discuss reversing your score. But instead of me talking about it, I actually brought in one of my financial partners to walk you through the hack of reversing your score, which means re-reporting your score in a positive way. Taking bad things off when they may not have necessarily meant to happen, an accidental mispayment that just happened, or something of that nature. 1 second, let me bring you in on that conversation.
Reversing your credit score. Outside of doing the things that you're supposed to do, like maybe doing the settlement or communicating with the creditors and things of that nature. What if life does happen? Like, what if, there is a derogatory mark that you really, something just fell out of your hands. Life happened, and all of a sudden you've had a perfect payment history, and then this one payment messes you up. What's your options then?
So basically an oversight, right?
Yes.
What I'm hearing. Okay, so if you've had an account for a long period of time, this is not common, first of all. To have a late payment or anything negative on your credit report reversed is not common.
Yes.
It's very difficult to do, right? But if you try hard enough, it can be done. So for instance, if you have an account, let's say you have a late payment on an account for one given month, but this account is 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, however many years old, right? And you accidentally forgot to make a payment this month. You can call that creditor and ask them to remove the late payment. Initially, they're probably going to tell you, no, I cannot do it, because you're going to call, you're going to get someone in customer service. they can't do it, right? So you can ask for someone above that person, someone in management, someone, supervisor level, and explain to them, say, hey, look, I have a history with you guys. I've been with you for 2 years. I've been with you for 5 years. Never had a late payment ever with you. This was a clear oversight. I caught it, immediately, which is why I'm calling you. Can you reverse that late payment? They're going to hem and haw, say they can't do it. They may say they can't do it, or they may say, we'll make this one exception and we'll make the change for you. But it can be done. It can be done if the creditor wants to do it. So if you have an account that's in good standing and you have a hiccup, they can reverse that for you.
Wow. You heard it directly, guys. It can be done. It just requires a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears and a little bit of grit. That you can actually reverse credit scores by just getting in there with them. But the biggest piece that Michelle said is don't do that because you've been missing like 5-6 payments. This is like someone who's been having great payment history. So something to think about. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on my show.
You're welcome, Amanda.
Alrighty, look at us.
We did it.
So what did we cover today?
We covered what is credit,
things that mess up your credit,
and how to improve your credit. But oh my God, we did not cover everything concerning credit. I wanted this to be the best video ever. I wanted to cover foreclosures, short sales, re-reporting, bankruptcies.
No, that's okay. This is just a part 1.
That was a part 1?
We may be able to do a part 2. I know it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Think about an iceberg. I know we're just covering the surface of it, and there's a whole lot more.
Okay. Because I just want to give them everything.
I understand. Okay. Credit is simple. It's not easy. And what we mean by not easy is that life happens, right? Bill payments, student loan, medical bills. Things just happen. And you're like, where's my score dropping?
Yeah. So, if you have any questions around credit, like burning questions that you think everybody else is probably asking as well. Because honestly, let's face it, what's deeply personal is super universal. Okay, so throw them in the comment section. We would love to answer them. And if we don't know, we have amazing financial professionals that can support us here at the DAPA Group.
Yes, and if this video was helpful to you, share the video with a friend or a family member or a colleague. Subscribe so you can get more, and then also give us a like.
Yes, give us a like, please do. And then also, if you are looking to purchase a home, improve your financial health to purchase a home in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and now
nationwide.
Then please feel free to email us at info@thedapogroup.com or go in the description box below and have a conversation with us. We have financial lenders that are here to support all 50 states and real estate professionals on the ground in all 50 states. Super exciting.
I love that. Well, guys, we are real estate
made easy just for you. See you next week.